Louis Vuitton, the watchmaker. As time goes on, this statement is gaining credibility and intrigue. To put things in perspective, just a handful of brands are authorised to put the Geneva seal on their watches, and Louis Vuitton sits alongside some of the greatest: Cartier, Vacheron Constantin, Louis Vuitton. But perhaps best of all, Louis Vuitton has what you can credibly argue is an iconic watch: the spin time, which is the jumping hours complication with a difference. The jump involves a practically instantaneous flip of a cube, giving the function a dash of dynamism and fun. And to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the spin time, there are 7 new references, including this one, the South Asia Ltd Edition in white gold, with a colour scheme loosely derived from the Australian and New Zealand flags. It is a numbered limited edition of just 10. It has a 42.5mm case, which wears large given the spacious design and thin bezel. Minutes are read from the central hand and an inner chapter ring, and hours are represented by spinning cubes that jut out into an airy void, hence the air in the name. This is some of the most creative and innovative movement architecture we've seen this year. Next up is the Escale Spin Time Flying Tourbillon, which places the 60-second flying tourbillon inside a V at the centre of the dial, which then functions as a second hand, with a shortened minute hand tracking around the inner chapter ring. The cubes representing the hour are on a 24-hour scale, quite ingenious. There are 5 new references in the Voyager collection, but the star of the show this year is undoubtedly the Voyager Minute Repeater Flying Tourbillon, which takes Vuitton watchmakers 320 hours to assemble. It is one of the thinnest of its kind on the market, at a svelte 9.7mm. What immediately stands out about this highly complicated watch is just how wearable and ready for travel it is. One of the central tenets of Louis Vuitton watchmaking, the 42mm Voyager case shape is smooth and extremely comfortable, though it is heavy here in platinum. Now I'm going to pause here and let you appreciate both the volume and the rich acoustics of the cathedral gongs struck by the hammers of the minute repeater. If you want to give this watch a personal touch, you can add your monogram to the case back. Next up is the Voyager Automatic Flying Tourbillon with paved diamonds, which turns up the bling, and it achieves something quite remarkable with the Flying Tourbillon, which appears to float above the dial at 6 in a transparent frame. Note also the stamp of the Geneva seal at 9, a constant reminder of the watch's quality and credibility. The Tambour Moon 42.5mm collection is an update on the tambour, which is French for drum, with a concave instead of convex case shape. Now this totally changes the way the watch looks and sits on the wrist, reducing its almost conical appearance to something more like an inward curve, a crescent moon perhaps. The Geneva seal stamped movement, note the seal on the central circle, is heavily skeletonized, with the mainspring visible through the open-worked barrel at 12 o'clock and the flying tourbillon at 6. The effect created by the overlapping circles manages to be elegant rather than busy, which is quite a design triumph. The watch also has a quick change strap mechanism, which is extremely user-friendly. Housed in a 45mm platinum case, the Tambour Moon Mysterious Flying Tourbillon is the height of Louis Vuitton's fine watchmaking. It seems to magically float inside its case with linear movement architecture arranged vertically on sapphire discs. Note the way the winding stem seems disconnected from the movement. This is black magic. The 3 circles on the dial house the brand's monogram flower at 12 o'clock, the tourbillon carriage at 6 o'clock, and a circle with the hour and minute hands in the centre. Lastly, we have a watch which charmed me silly. The Voyager Automatic Flying Tourbillon with a deep, lustrous, glossy black onyx dial. Now I'm not usually a diamonds guy, but this paved number with generous diamond batten indices manages to stir testosterone when it's on the wrist. The Flying Tourbillon here is encircled by diamonds and offers something of a window into the watch's movement soul, which is both dark and light at the same time.